a playlist original.
Hey, what's up? It's your host, Torian, who is ready to be petty. Welcome back to another episode of RTBP. I'm so glad you're here. Today has been a really good day and really concluding a good week. I have been following the Eras Tour concert coverage like my life depended on it. It's funny because I'm going to the concert in July in Seattle, and I was like, I wonder, do I want to be surprised by it? So I'm I don't know, thrilled. Not that I won't be thrilled, but just in awe at the concert. But as soon as, she hit the stage 8 p.m. on Friday in Glendale, Arizona, I was on TikTok, and some of the coverage has just been so fucking funny. There's this girl, I think her at on Instagram is hey, it's Sarah W or something like that. And she was posting on Twitter that she's going to be streaming the concert. And she was couldn't connect to the Wi-Fi. And everybody on Twitter was get this girl Wi-Fi. She had brought 3 battery charging packs and stuff like that. And it kept going down and stuff. But I don't know. It was just funny how the community is really rallied around these Era Tour concerts. And we've only had 2. We have, months and months of this ahead. But it's absolutely wild how at one point there was 100,000 people watching the live stream with me, which again is just absolutely so wild at just the amount of people these Taylor Swift concerts are getting. But I am just really excited for the 44 songs, unreal. I feel it's going to be hard for her to sustain, but I'm sure she'll thrive. And just at how many songs are covered, how many songs that I never thought I would hear in concert, stuff from fucking folklore that, I don't know, it is really seeing the light of day. So I did all of my reactions to each Era set list. So I go album by album, and it's all covered on my TikTok, tiktok.com/RTBP podcast ? My @ is just RTBP podcast. And so you can hear about all of my takes there. But let me know if you want more coverage on this concert. I had a very fun time recording with Gracie at Thoughts with Gracie. She is honestly the sweetest person you'll ever meet, and we had so much fun. We did record for quite a long time, and there was some definitely NSFW this week in petty content. Funny nonetheless. I think I'm going to post it on my Patreon. So I'll keep you posted on that. Let's talk about a few things before we get into today's episode. This week on Patreon, I am interviewing the author Janelle Brown, and then I'm going to cover some current pop culture stories, a little solo dolo action. And last week, I had Mariah Burchell on. She is a local photographer in the city I live in, as well as a blogger. She created the blog Established. And we talked about imposter syndrome and why it happens and when we get it and how it feels, and specific situations that it's flared up that's maybe stopped us from doing something or taking advantage of an opportunity or anything like that. I feel it's super, super common, especially with people in, I feel their 20s and 30s, when you're just trying to figure out your career. So if you want to hear that episode, you can check it out on patreon.com/RTBP podcast. I want to shout out 2 patrons this week. Samantha V. I felt I wanted to sing that. I don't know. I feel that has some was going to say rhythm. God, it's late when I'm recording this. Samantha, thank you so much for supporting the podcast. I really appreciate it. And RTBP could not be possible without people like you. And then Brianna, thank you so much for supporting the podcast. I know that everyone has heard, when I'm shouting at Breezers for a question that we're covering on the podcast or a topic or something like that. So thank you so much for being a part of this community. Before we get to today's episode, I want to tell you about a podcast that I have been really enjoying called Right Answers Mostly. It is hosted by Tess and Claire. New episodes every Monday, and they are teaching you what you didn't learn in history class. And it's funny because, and I think that this is a universal experience, or maybe just people with mental illness, but I didn't think it used to be universal. But I love when I'm watching a TV show or a movie or something like that, and I just go hard on Wiki. Like if it's a historical event, like the Titanic or Studio 54, or even cast members of shows that I like all of a sudden I need to know where they grew up and what other shows they've been on and, their political standing and all of that stuff. And of course I go on Wiki and then, jet right down to the personal the personal life section. But they cover everything from, like I said, the Titanic to the Olsen twins to Kris Jenner. It's always over a cocktail or a joint, which obviously I appreciate. And I think that listeners of RTBP would really like their old Hollywood episodes, their childhood nostalgia episodes, and obviously their episodes covering influential women. They're super funny, informed, well-researched, all of that stuff. So I really hope you check it out. You can follow them now at Right Answers Mostly, and you can listen to them wherever podcasts are found. Okay, friends, it's time to get to today's episode. I hope you enjoy. Without further ado, here's my conversation with Gracie. I'm back with a very special guest, Gracie from @ThoughtsWithGracie on TikTok. Gracie, how are you?
Feeling great. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining me. I am so excited because I love all of the content that you create.
Oh, well, thank you. I try to be very authentic, whether it gets me in trouble on the internet or not. I've been known in real life for what I say to get me in trouble, so I would expect no difference online.
Literally. It's so funny. So I just started posting TikToks because I'm like, hey, I need to get into the TikTok space. And I'm like, hey, I'll post them on my Instagram too. And there's an auto feature when you post a reel to TikTok that just says share to your Facebook page. So I'm like, okay, I just didn't unclick it.
Yeah.
And people are going so crazy on Facebook about all of the TikToks I've made. And it's just so funny, the different corners of the internet where it gets you in trouble and, where it doesn't.
Was it your friends and your followers, or was it random people that were viewing it that were what?
Literally randos.
Oh my goodness.
They were obviously scrolling and they just are going to town.
Oh my goodness.
I kind of love it.
I love that. I love that. I purposefully did it, but I posted some of my videos to Reddit, and
yeah,
let me just tell you, Reddit's about the toughest crowd that you'll meet. They are a hard crowd to please. So
literally.
Even though I was talking about the topics that they were talking about, they were like, you're not anonymous, who are you? And whew, I discovered some blowback. Let me just tell you, Redditors don't play. But I mean, with the more views and the more engagement you get, you're always going to have that
totally
people who dislike you, and it's always going to grow.
Yeah, the good with
and
the bad.
Hey, people who view your stuff just because they might dislike it, or they don't like it, or they're just there to troll, that's still views, that's still comments, that's still engagement.
100%. Yeah, that's why I'm replying to all of them. I'm like, why am I fighting in the Facebook comments?
You don't understand. I will fight in some TikTok comments and it will get me in trouble. Like I will have people make videos about my comments because I will smart off. So then I just end up blocking
Yeah.
people, right? And then they're like,
Yeah.
screw you for blocking people. How dare you? And I'm just like, okay, so I can't smart off back and I can't block them. Do you just want me to take being like told
They
I'm a
do.
bad person? Like, oh my
They do.
gosh.
Yeah, they straight up do.
It's like
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, just talking to some of my TikTok friends, how they get this. And yeah, exactly what you're describing is exactly what happens with them. It's so interesting.
it is. It's a whole new, and like TikTok's broken right now, like, or at least I've noticed. Have you noticed?
No.
Well, for like the past 5 days, I've been like viewing a lot of my mutuals, and like I've viewed like this is gonna make me sound like a stalker, but I've viewed Jack Max, from Barstool, his account. I've viewed Amanda, I can't remember her last name. Steph with the Deets doesn't seem like she's very affected wherever she lives, but Amanda, not Amanda, Hannah. Do you follow Hannah and Devotely Yours? If you go look at
Mm,
all of their like recent content compared to their content 5 days ago, their engagement is significantly lower.
so low.
It is
Yeah.
ridiculously low. And then I'll go look at my videos and I'm like, this has been up for like 30 minutes. Like, why does it only have like
One
yeah,
view.
why does it have like
Yeah.
5 views? I'm so confused. And then I'll go look at my like analytics and like TikTok is just putting old videos onto the For You page right now. Like all of my videos,
Yeah.
I go look at my For You page and I'll click the video and it'll be from like a month and a half ago.
Okay, so that is 100% happening to me, and I just didn't realize
It is happening so
it.
bad to me. And it's not even showing like my For You page isn't showing the normal like content users that it shows, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, for
I don't know
sure.
what's going on with the government trying to ban it or like anything,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know if they had to change their like algorithm a little bit to meet like
Yeah.
or what's going on.
Yeah, so they don't get in trouble. Yeah, that's so interesting. What got you into TikTok? Like, is this the platform that you use the most?
I would say TikTok's the platform I use the most. I don't really use Instagram because it's honestly just like a highlight reel of people's lives. And when you're seeing like, it was bad for my mental health because I was seeing
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 people's like highlights a day. And I was like, my life can't like realistically live up to that. But then like on TikTok, I would see like the good and the bad, even though I'd like half the time my boyfriend would come home and see me crying about like a dog video.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's still you have like
Been there, yeah.
the happy videos and the sad ones, and it like gives you it just feels a little bit more realistic, honestly.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
I've always kind of used it as a diary for my thoughts, whether it like turned out good or bad. So I
Yeah.
kind of just pick what I'm fixating on and talk about it if I'm being honest.
Yeah. So you were saying before we started recording, you started with House of Dragon.
Yes. So I started with the House of the Dragon and like I kind of fixated on that when that came out and a lot of people really enjoyed those videos. So then I kind of was like after that ended, my engagement like organically started to like null if that makes sense. And I was like how am I going to get this back up? Like what am I going to talk about? And I didn't really intend for it to be pop culture, but if you like view pop culture through the same lens you view like these characters in House of the Dragon or like Game of Thrones trying to all vie to be on top of this like ladder, like it's the same thing, just a different font. Like everyone is still trying to fight to be on top, whether it's with armies or whether it's with like digs on social media and like it's the same thing, just pop culture is a more modernized version of it, I think.
100%, which is so interesting because you're totally right. It is people just vying for power and wealth and
Like instead of kings and like knights and lords, we have influencers, celebrities, and actors now, you know? It's like
yeah, it's fascinating.
it is. It's really fascinating. And they still like back then, you know, the lords and the kings and like the wards and all of that, they kind of controlled how like what the common folk thought and like the trends of today. And it's just interesting to see it kind of evolve, but actually not change, if that makes sense. Just kind of evolve into a more modernized version. But I really love it. I love talking about pop culture. You never know what's going to happen. If you don't like something one day, just wait till the next because there's going to be a whole new story.
Literally. Yeah, I know the cycle moves so quickly. Like sometimes I can't even keep up with it.
There's stuff happening constantly. Like there's stuff I haven't talked about from like 3 days ago that I want to talk about, but things keep happening like on my TikTok. Like I haven't talked about Will Smith or the Cole call her daddy like stuff. Haven't done that, and people are
Yeah.
asking me about it, and I was just like, it's on the list. I promise.
Yeah, you're like I'll get to it.
I promise. I promise I'll get to it.
That's so funny. Okay, speaking of cool sprouts, I feel like we should dive into our topics for today.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about cool sprouts on Call Her Daddy. We're going to talk about Harry Styles, and he posted like an accidental
One Direction photo.
Yeah, like the crowd was going wild.
Yes.
And then we're gonna talk about the Kardashians, Jersey Shore. So, Cole Sprouse, were you like a big Sweet Life fan or Riverdale fan?
I was a huge Sweet Life fan. Now, Riverdale, I'm gonna be like completely honest. I was more of a Sabrina fan. Did you watch Sabrina?
Yes. Yeah.
I loved Sabrina, but then like I kind of stopped watching when like wasn't there a crossover episode that
Yes, there
everyone was like in love with, and then things got kind of crazy on Riverdale. And my mom, she loves Riverdale. Like she used to just sit there and binge watch the seasons. And then I watched the first couple of seasons, and I think I stopped before like it's Veronica and Archie, right? Those two are together, and it's Betty and Jughead.
Yeah.
His Cole plays Jughead. And like I don't think I know it happens, like how like some of the plot plays out, but I don't think I ever got to like us actually meeting the actor who plays Cole Sprouse's dad in it or anything like that.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's so interesting how that show evolved into something like so crazy.
It did.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Like,
but I'm gonna be honest. Wait, was that made by the CW?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so the CW does a decent job, but Freeform, their book, or like Riverdale was a adaptation of a comic. And I don't know if you read The Mortal Instruments, but
no, but I do know of it.
So have you watched the TV series that Freeform put out?
No, is it good?
It was crash and burn. It was so bad I couldn't watch it. I'm gonna be completely honest.
Shit.
Like it was bad. They changed the plot. But
yeah,
when Riverdale started going down the path that I saw the Mortal Instruments go down, and that's when I stopped watching it, if that makes sense. Because I don't really like remember when like I've heard about the comics like talked about because my dad read them. I don't remember there being a magical like aspect. But I don't know.
Well, except for Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yes.
But no, there wasn't. And so you're totally right. Like it was kind of like Gossip Girl. So I read the Gossip Girl books in high school, and then the show came out because I am older than you.
I love Gossip Girl. Oh my goodness. Listen, I watch like older shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Xena the Warrior Princess. Like those were my stuff. I watched Gossip Girl at like 15, 16, and I was obsessed. And my dad like had to force me to wait till like 15, 16. He was like, "You're already a Gossip Girl." So like I had to like he made me wait until then, and I finally like broke him down. But like I was the oldest, you know. Now my sister, she's like 14, and her and my dad watch 90210 together. That's like their show.
Cute. I'm obsessed with that. That is so cute. But yeah, it also went off the rails. Like like in terms of the books, I was like, I'm just not interested in this anymore. And it was the same for me with Riverdale. Like you guys lost the plot, and I just like don't want to watch this. And I was a Sweet Life fan, so I followed the Sprouse twins, but not like excessively at all. And Cole's both of them they had a period where they weren't super famous, where they were like going to NYU and they weren't really working on projects, but then they've really, I feel like, come back with a vengeance. And I feel like they were well liked. Like I feel like they've always been well liked and like appreciated in the fan community.
I do.
Yeah,
I agree as well. I never knew anything about like their mom or like her addiction or like anything. I'm pretty sure she had an addiction if I remember the thing correctly. I was like eating and like playing on my phone as I was watching it on my computer. But she pretty sure she spent all their money, but like to hear that they grew up, they were born in Italy, and like he said they grew up in some type of cult thing. And when he said what his mom and dad did, his mom was an art teacher and his dad was a PE teacher. And it kind of seems like they lived in like kind of like a hippie like
Yeah,
like
like
commune. And
commune.
that's like really
Yeah.
cool. And I don't know, the whole time he was trying to explain everything, I was like, I don't know why this is cringe. I couldn't figure out why everything, he was like trying to come off smarter than he was. And like he'd be like,
Absolutely.
oh, well, and then he lights a
Yeah.
cigarette inside and tries to compare it to like marijuana. And
Yeah.
I was like, it's this. I don't know. In my personal opinion, I would never smoke a cigarette inside, but I would
Yeah.
definitely like hit a bowl if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. For some reason, it's so weird because he did say that, and I was like, oh, I never really thought about that because like everyone who smokes weed does it inside,
Mm-hmm.
and like no one bats an eye. But then as soon as someone like lights a cigarette, but it was just really interesting. A, I didn't know like people his age still like smoked cigarettes. B, the like long, skinny, like it was like a character.
He needed like one of those little things that you hold the cigarette from like the
Yeah.
60s, like the women did. Like
Yeah, like Audrey Hepburn. Like,
yes,
yeah.
yes. Like did you see Netflix roast him as well on their TikTok? Oh
No.
my goodness, Netflix posted a video and I'm pretty sure let me make sure the caption is right. They said something like seems like a good time to put this out there and put this video of him being like very, very awkward. And everyone was like, not Netflix roasted Cole Sprouse in the comment section. It was so funny.
That's so funny. I love when like corporate accounts weigh in on like
Yeah.
celebrities. Oh my God,
I
that's so
I
funny.
love when they like hear the audience and
Yeah.
respond accordingly. That makes me laugh so much. I'm trying to find it. Let's see. Here it is. It's him in Riverdale going, in case you didn't know, I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. And it's Netflix goes, felt like a good time to bring this one back.
It's literally so funny because in the interview he goes like I feel like there are two types of people who like become actors, and he talks about like working class or like people that need to act to like survive or whatever. And then he goes, but everyone who goes into like things that are like artsy or fucked up or something like that.
Yeah.
And it gave me immediate like
Cringe vibe.
cringe. Like it was exactly like Jughead with his like, in case you didn't know, I'm a weirdo, like I wear this hat, like it's so embarrassing. It was like the same vibe.
It was very embarrassing. It was when he said that, I got second-hand embarrassment for him, and I didn't know how Alex Cooper just really sat there and didn't laugh in this man's face. But also, I really feel like she's trying to be Oprah.
She's so serious.
She is so serious, and she wants these like, if you've noticed, I know this is about Cole Sprouse's interview, but if you've noticed, like Call Her Daddy, all her episodes are more like giving people like this kind of redemption arc. But like Cole Sprouse doesn't. I
Yes.
can't remember like if he did anything to like fit into this like redemption arc kind of thing she's going with, because
That's a good point.
she's done John Mayer. She's done
Yeah.
Haley Bieber. Taylor Swift's
Yeah.
got like mass fans that don't like John Mayer. Haley
Yeah.
Bieber can't stay out of the media
Yeah,
and keep
the
her mouth
yeah.
closed. And it's just like can't
So many people.
I can't really remember who. There was someone else that I was like, "Oh my goodness, she's giving them a redemption arc." Who was it?
Totally. I can't think of from my top of my head. It will probably come to me during this episode, but you're totally right. But I think the thing with Cole Sprouse is he didn't have like an incident or anything, but I think that there is rumors like over time that he's like kind of a fuck boy
Yeah,
on his high horse.
apparently everyone has like if you go to NYU during like this certain period of time, everyone has a Cole Sprouse story.
Story like during his undergrad, like everyone, you're right, like had an interaction with him or whatever that they were annoyed about or that was like cringy. So I think that that's the only like thing is that like he didn't have a big inciting incident, but he's just kind of like annoying.
Yeah, I think I think that's it as well. And like his brother has like I haven't seen his brother as much as him. He is like probably the more active one than his brother. His
Yeah.
brother, the last time I saw him was delivering cheeseburgers to his model girlfriend after a
Barbara after like Victoria's Secret like fashion show. Yeah.
That's coming back on. Did you hear?
I know, I saw that. That's fucking wild to me.
I'm kind of excited that it's coming back on. Like I'm like
Yeah, there, as problematic as it was, there was a part of me that just like loved all of the like theatrics, the performances, like
honestly, I didn't even watch the models. I'm more was there for like the tension between The Weeknd and Bella Hadid, if that makes
of
sense.
course.
Yeah, like
And Taylor and Carly and
yes.
like all, yes, like 100%. So you're right. I am excited for it. But like I hope obviously it includes more like body diversity.
It needs to be so more inclusive. They need to stop the like they have one look that they go for.
One look.
Like it's like, come on now, not everyone looks like that. Like I don't even look like that. Like come on now. I don't think anyone looks like that.
No, literally.
But I lived for the pictures of when they hit the internet of Bella Hadid and The Weeknd when she was like walking in it. Lived for those pictures.
Me too. So did I. And didn't he like smack her ass or something like that? I can't remember.
I can't remember if he's like smacked her ass or if she like grabbed his hand and like she like looked back as she was letting go.
Yeah. But whatever it was like fanfic like come to life.
Yeah, it was all people could talk about. They were like, they need to get back together. They're gonna
yes. I know. Me included. Okay, before we move on, is there anything else you want to say about the Cool Sprouse Caller Daddy interview? I think my biggest takeaways was like he's cringe. We didn't learn too much of like new information about like his life, and he's like really trying hard to be like an artsy actor.
Have you seen the videos that this girl does on TikTok of her like kind of making fun of the like shy, lonely main character that people do in like books? And she's like, she'll be like making pancakes. She'll be like, I'm just a loner. And she'll like, it's like making fun of it. I felt like I was watching Cole Sprouse try to play that character in real life, but it not be satirical. Like he was literally trying to be like, I'm an artsy loner. And I don't know. That's just not the like take I've ever gotten from him. So him all of a sudden trying to like come out and like be really artsy or like act like he's like all dark and like moody. It just didn't make any sense. And then the shoes were so shiny. The shoes and the cigarette.
Oh, like the weird boots he was wearing, and then he was wearing that like loose shirt, and then he has his black hair, and I was like, remember, you're a blonde.
Yeah.
The black hair is from Riverdale. Like,
yeah, like are they even like videoing for Riverdale right now?
Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like they've wrapped up season 7. I feel like he just kept the black hair for the vibe.
I mean, it fits the vibe he's trying to go for, the whole moody one, but other than that, I'll be interested to see if Alex Cooper keeps going down this road of like these hard set interviews with these.
Yeah. It's such a departure from the original Call Her Daddy.
Oh, and I loved the original Call Her Daddy. It was so good. And
I know.
It was at peak when like Dave got on there. When Dave got on there, do you remember? Because they refused to like do it.
Yeah, and that time was just such like, it was so thrilling when they were like putting those hints in the titles, and then he hijacked their account because they refused to post. Like, oh, that was, what a time to be alive.
I was like, I remember watching that video of Dave Portnoy on Call Her Daddy, and I was sitting there like in my bed going, this isn't real.
I know. Like, you couldn't make that shit up.
Oh, you couldn't. And then like how the deal ended up turning out, like no one saw that come. Like I didn't see it coming. I didn't.
No, I just thought they would be paid more and then they would go back to work, and then like the scandal happened.
They were like, you're out.
Yeah.
You're alone.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. I wonder if that man still works at HBO. Didn't Suitman work at HBO?
Yeah, so they're not together, but I'm assuming he still works, if not at HBO, in the entertainment industry.
Heard.
Yeah, yeah. So interesting.
That is.
Okay, let's talk about Harry Styles. Are you a big Harry Styles girl?
I love Harry Styles. I don't like Olivia Wilde. I know that's bad to say. I
No,
like
I
her
think that's fine.
acting in House.
Yeah.
She did a very great job. That's
Oh, I
all
forgot
I've
she was in that.
that's where I originally saw her. So like
Yeah.
I liked her acting in House, but like as a person, honestly, she like annoys me a little bit. So like I saw her with
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal and I was like, no, you do not get both of the hottest men of like this decade. It's not allowed.
I saw that and I saw a bunch of people being like, stay away from him. And
Yeah,
like,
I was like, oh my goodness, she is a lucky dog for Harry Styles. Let me just tell you,
yeah,
I would, I
agreed.
would be at his concerts going woo too.
Oh, fucking of course. Like
Yes, I'd be
front
like,
row,
yeah,
front and
baby.
center. Yeah, front and center. So he posted a picture to his Instagram stories. He was at the gym and he was wearing a One Direction shirt from like 2012. And then he immediately deleted it. So people have been saying that he accidentally posted it and he was supposed to just post it to his close friends. Do you believe this theory?
Well, I know a lot of celebrities have like close friends, and if they don't have close friends, they have like finstas, if that makes sense.
Yes. Okay. That's what I was wondering because I was like, I guess it makes sense for them to have close friends, but I just didn't, I don't know. For some reason, I just didn't think that they would just have close friends on their big accounts because I feel like
Yeah.
that's so
I feel
dangerous.
like I've seen someone have close friends. I feel like Tana
Right.
Mojo, I know for a fact, has
Oh,
close
yeah,
friends
yeah,
on
yeah,
Instagram.
yeah. Right,
I
right,
know
right,
for a
right.
fact that Tana
Yeah.
Mojo has them because it actually got her in some trouble one time.
Right.
And Livy Dunn has close friends on Snapchat.
Yeah.
Not close friends, but like a private story.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that got her into a lot of trouble when the Markel drama came out.
Like that makes sense to me because it just seems like it would get you in trouble because I feel like someone would screen record or you accidentally post.
Like, oh my goodness, I would be so scared to like I had to actually before like when I started TikTok, I deleted my Finsta because I hadn't used it for like a year and a half. And I went on
Yeah.
there and there's the debauchery that I posted in my younger years. I was like, no one can ever see this stuff ever. I was like,
Totally.
ever. I was like, there are pictures of me just like half asleep. There are a lot of pictures of me and I sleep with my eyes open. It was like so bad. But I think that like if celebrities have these like private like stories, it's
Yeah.
literally probably the people they talk to daily.
Yeah.
It couldn't be anyone more because who can you really trust in the industry?
100%. Like it would have to be like family and like most trusted friends.
Like it would get sent to Demois like that.
It was so quick. So
So
quick.
quick.
Yeah. But I just thought like, so he deleted it immediately. So I guess that makes sense that it would be for like a Finsta or for a close friends list.
So do we know that he for sure runs his account? Because it could have been like someone scrolling through like
Okay, so this is my theory is like I kind of think that instead of like oops, it's an accident, someone posted it, whether him or his team posted it for the headlines because I feel like he hasn't gotten really good press lately. He hasn't even really been in the press lately. He had the Grammys thing where people were mad at him for his speech and then his performance people were saying wasn't like top notch. So I feel like what a better time to like have someone post that and now we're all talking about this and like oh my god he still supports One Direction, oh my god a reunion might be possible, like all of this stuff.
I can totally see them doing that. I feel like a lot of celebrities after they've gotten like bad press will sometimes like do things to like get good press or like they'll sometimes like let stories slip to like some news outlets. Like, okay, have you heard about the drama around Sam Levinson, The Weeknd, Lily Rose Depp and The Idol?
A little bit, but yeah, fill us in.
So like I can't really like take a side on it because I signed a partnership with like HBO to talk about The Last of Us and the like I think I'm not sure about Succession. They're sending me some stuff for Succession because it comes on shortly. But basically, a lot of people, so basically The Idol was supposed to be about a sex cult in Hollywood,
Yeah.
if that makes sense, and kind of a very dramatic version of like an intense version of what Hollywood like the darker side of Hollywood, if that makes sense. So if there's sex, the sex is supposed to be in your face. If it's
Yeah.
drugs, the drug's supposed to be in your face. If it's
Yeah.
alcohol, like everything is supposed to be done intense, dramatic, in your face.
Yeah.
And Sam Levinson, like with Euphoria, he kind of did that. Like, in my opinion, he is like the Quentin Tarantino of our generation, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Like, he's very polarizing, and he has what he's known for, and he's known for like graphic, gratuitous sex scenes.
Yeah.
And like, it's intense, but people enjoy watching it. And basically, they had this whole The Idol. There was a woman director. They had it all wrapped up, almost like done. And The Weeknd apparently felt like it was too much from a feminist perspective. So, and this was in the Rolling Stones. This was a like post in the Rolling Stones.
Oh my God.
So Sam Levinson came in. They kind of scrapped everything. HBO let him rewrite the whole plot and kind of gave him like free reign. And there's a bunch of rumors about like things he's supposedly saying, if that makes sense. Like, oh, they couldn't fire me if they want a season 3 of Euphoria. And like, there's just a lot of rumors, and it's all coming from this Rolling Stone ad. But the reason why I'm bringing this up now is you were talking about how like people will put stuff out there. Well, I was like kind of like discussing with one of my like HBO people, and we were like talking about this. I asked him had he seen the Rolling Stones like article about The Idol, because HBO had just put out a teaser for The Idol, the TV series, and The Weeknd was talking about in the show how the Rolling Stones wasn't what it used to be.
Yes. Okay. I've seen that. Yes.
So when the Rolling Stones put out the real article, like in reality, The Weeknd tweeted, "Got you mad, Rolling Stones." So I think it honestly might be a way to like drum up press, if that makes sense. Because
Yeah.
any press is good pressy. Because when you have
Yeah.
a polarizing figure like Sam Levinson, you can really either go either way. You can talk about him in a good way or a bad way, and there are people that are going to like defend because they're both sides are so strongly opinionated about him. You know, it's going to be a topic of conversation, and you're going to have both sides on it either way.
Of
So I
course.
really think just because he okay, it couldn't be an accident. HBO puts out a clip about
Yeah.
being
About the
like,
Rollings. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then the Rolling Stones put out an article basically like crapping on HBO, and
Yeah.
then The Weeknd goes, "Got you mad, Rolling Stone."
Yeah, yeah. And that's what everyone is talking
Yeah.
about. Like, and do you think that that was to cover up the problems they were having on set with this director and the reshoots, or just to drum up general press for the movie?
I think they wanted to drum up like press because honestly, I think it might be coming out soon. I think
Just
it's
wait,
like
is the Idol a TV series
it's a
or?
TV series. I think it's
Okay,
a
TV
limited
series.
TV series, but I'm
Right,
not
right, right.
100% sure. But it's like it's coming out soon, and I honestly want to try and give it like an unbiased analysis because you know Lily Rose Depp came out and said all that Nevo baby stuff and really shot herself in the foot.
Literally, literally. I'm surprised that like she was cast in it just because, yeah, like HBO, it's obviously really big and stuff. And I don't know, she just didn't seem like the person that I would choose, but yeah.
Well, you know, I was saying that as well. I was like, I don't know why they picked Lily Rose Depp. I haven't really seen her anything, and it kind
Yeah,
of goes like,
yeah.
honestly, HBO's more used to like what they'll do is they'll have someone play like a small part in a TV show, and then years later, it's like, all right, your time to shine. You get to be the main character, kind of like Pedro
Yeah.
and Bella in The
Yeah.
Last of Us. So I expected to see like maybe one of like the small characters from Euphoria or something like that, if that made sense. Like maybe like Maddie, if that made
Yep.
sense. She's not like a main character, but like her in it. But they did use Lily Rose Depp, and I was talking to my dad about it because I was like, she's such a nepo baby, da 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 da. And he was like, although she is a nepo baby and she like said that stuff, he goes, I implore you to like kind of watch it with like unbiased eyes
Yeah.
because we haven't seen her act yet. And
True.
her mother was a very good actress. And there's actually,
True.
I don't know what movie my dad said. He like texted it to me, but he said to watch this movie because it's got Lily Rose's Depp Kim's mom and dad play in it together. So I was thinking about watching that movie and then watching the TV series and just being
Yeah.
like, okay, does she even like match up to their level?
Yeah.
And if she doesn't and she's still like praised, then I'll be able to call her a Nepo
Nepo
baby and
baby
be
for
like,
sure. Yeah.
but if she's actually good, I'm gonna be like, okay, she might be a Nepo baby, but like
But she has the skill to back it up.
she has the skill, she's gotten the talent from her dad, and a mom, she's obviously put in the work.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try and give her an honest chance, even though she really like shot herself in the foot with being like saying what she did. Because I'll shoot myself in the foot sometimes, so I can't even blame her.
True, true. Like people do make mistakes. We can't hold her accountable forever for like some one-off comments about being a Nepo baby.
Yeah.
But
it is
that's
funny.
good
It
of
is
you.
funny to troll her sometimes. It is.
Of course.
It is. It is.
Of
You have to.
course.
You have to.
Yes. You have to. Okay, I love that. Let's talk about the Kardashians. You've been covering this on your page.
I have. They're a lot. They're a lot. There's a lot always coming out about them.
Yeah, you're right. They're constantly in the media. Like we have Kendall Jenner with Bad Bunny. We have Kris Jenner that just was in the Meghan Trainor music video. Like they're never not doing stuff. But there are rumors going around right now that they were uninvited to the Met Gala by Anna Wintour, who makes the guest list, I think, with the like hosting committee of that year. It's coming in May. And I don't know, do you think there's validity to these rumors?
I honestly think that there might be. Like, I can't see anyone. Now, I know there are like crazy people in this world, but I can't see anyone just kind of pulling that out of their, and excuse me for saying this, ass. Like, I can't see anyone like randomly putting that out there. And I don't think Anna Wintour would let any of her people like lie about
Leak.
something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like,
That's such a good point.
because I don't really see her like get into a lot of like controversy on the internet. I just haven't seen her. She might have in her earlier years, but since I've been in pop culture, I haven't really seen her get into anything or really like comment on anything. She's normally always like very like,
Super private.
yeah, and
Yeah.
she's got the sunglasses, so you can't see her
Yeah.
emotion when she's like watching the like she's not into giving like the media like
Anything.
anything. So I think that because it got leaked, I think it's true. I think because Kim Kardashian, like either two or three pronged, the Marilyn Monroe dress and the damage that was supposedly done. I don't know if Kim claims it was damaged before, people claim it was damaged after.
Yeah.
Since it is the something of costume design, it's the
Yeah, Institute.
Institute of Costume Design.
Yeah.
I would think that like messing up such a piece of like pop culture history would kind of put like a bad taste in their mouth when your name came up like next time.
That is such a good point. Holy shit. Yes.
Because like from what I've heard about the Institute is they curate and basically take care of very like
Yes.
precious pieces of clothing and like very
Yes.
important like articles that have gone through like history. And I
Yeah.
don't think like I think it just looked bad on them that something like so important like Marilyn Monroe's president's dress got ripped.
Yeah.
And also, okay, have you heard about Ozempic?
Yes. And I saw your video about your like Ozempic origin story, and I
Yes.
believe it 100%. So basically, you were saying that Ozempic, like everyone in Hollywood's on it right now, but where did the trend start? And you were saying when Kim was like, I lost all this weight in 2 weeks, you were saying, no, it wasn't the workouts and the strict diet she was doing. It was probably that and the help of Ozempic.
I think she probably ended up telling like a few people and being like, do not say you heard it from me. Like, do not say I ever used it. And then they were like, okay, told their friends. And then eventually it just got down to like, all the influencers. But I think, and if my theory about her kind of starting the Ozempic trend during this Marilyn Monroe dress time is true, if there's any validity to it, that could also play another like factor because she's getting a lot of like, she takes a lot of heat in the media for like, creating unrealistic body standards as it is, dropping 16 pounds to get into a dress that like people are already upset for you to be in. Kind of, that's just another stab, like.
Absolutely.
And I think that Chris kind of forcing the Met to invite all of her children when Kylie, oh my goodness, what she wore, a wedding dress with a backwards baseball
I
cap.
know. And like, it's funny because when I think of the Met Gala now, I actually basically just think about the Kardashians.
Me too.
And I actually agree with you. So when I first saw this, I was like, there's no way that events don't want the Kardashians there because they drum up so much attention. Anything they touch brings attention. So I was like, of course the Met Gala would want the attention. But then when I started, well, A, watching your videos and then B, thinking about it, I was like, okay, but now I only think of the Kardashians at the Met Gala and it overshines everything else. And they probably don't want everything else, not discussed.
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, they loan out like very, very important pieces to these influencers and celebrities to wear to these events so it gets press, because I think this is one of their only like charitable
like
functions that they
fundraisers
get.
or whatever. Yeah.
So, like, I remember one year, I don't know if you remember, but there was a lot of talk around Emma Chamberlain's necklace or like
Yes.
headpiece. And I feel
Yes.
like if the Kardashians weren't there, that would have gotten way more like,
Yes.
it was kind of talked about controversially because I can't remember what it was, but
Yeah,
like
it was like a diamond necklace that was by Cartier that was either
the Majorat,
yeah, I
it was
don't
someone.
I don't remember, but it was stolen from like the owner by Cartier, I guess, and then never given back, and she wore it and people were upset, rightfully so. Like it seemed like bad news.
Yes, it was really controversial, and I don't think she knew exactly
Yeah,
the
I don't think
origins.
agreed. I don't think she was googling the origins of like the diamond and stuff like that. But I think it's more bad on Cartier, but
I think they want more press like that instead of what were the Kardashians wearing and just the Kardashians, because apparently someone in my comments said Blake Lively stopped going because she couldn't deal with
oh,
the
really?
Kardashian. Yes, that's
Yeah.
what someone said in my comments, and a bunch of people liked it. And I was like, is that really true? I was like, did Blake Lively really stop going because she like couldn't deal with?
Well, people have been discussing for years how the addition with the Kardashians and then like some TikTokers like James Charles and Charlie D'Amelio and stuff like that have
Addison Rae, wasn't she there?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you gonna donate to
Yeah.
the institution of costume design? Like what?
Yeah.
What can this? I'm sorry to say this, but what can this like recently famous 21-year-old possibly do for this institution that's been around longer than she's been alive?
Literally. No, I was thinking the exact same thing. So I think people were like, oh, it's kind of like a cheap event and stuff. And it's supposed to be like white tie, like biggest event of the year,
Yes.
like most, just like rich and extravagant and exclusive. And I think people were saying, oh, it's not exclusive anymore because these rando TikTokers are going.
Yeah.
So I think that Anna Wintour is like, hey, well, I don't want anything associated with like Vogue and the Met like cheapened by reality stars. So I kind of think that this is legit because I think that Anna Wintour didn't look the Kardashians' way until Kanye was like, no, you have to like pay attention to them.
Yeah, can't remember if it was your video or someone else's, but they were talking about how like Kim Kardashian was actually pregnant with Northwest. It was this man. It was this man. I had never seen him. I'll never forget this. I see his face now. But he was talking about how Kardashians didn't come to the Met until Kanye got invited, and he literally said he wouldn't go, and Kim showed up pregnant in that flower outfit
dress.
with North.
Yeah.
And Anna Wintour has said multiple times that she doesn't like reality TV stars.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm pretty sure there's a video. I can't remember if it was Anna who like snubs Kim and goes to the person beside her. Wasn't it Jessica Parker who she went to?
Oh, Sarah Jessica Parker. Yeah.
Sarah Jessica Parker, who she like went and hugged, and Kim like kind of thought she was coming to see her. So like if that's any indication of how Anna Wintour feels about Kim Kardashian, I don't think they're making it. And I don't think a call from Chris is gonna like save this one. I think honestly, I think Anna felt ran over last year having all those Kardashians here, and she was like,
Agreed.
"What the heck is this? Like,
Agreed.
this isn't keeping up with the Kardashians." So I think this year she's like, if y'all are all gonna be here last year, none of y'all are gonna be here this year.
Yeah, I agree. And like, have you seen The Devil Wears Prada?
Yes, I almost made my boyfriend watch it last night.
Iconic. And like that character, Miranda Priestley, was based off Anna Wintour. So like I think we're forgetting that Anna Wintour will make a decision without any feelings involved. So I feel like she's not like, oh well, I do have a relationship with Kim and Chris now. I feel like she's like, what's best for the business? We're doing it. We're cutting them.
It's strictly business, and I really like that about Anna. You know, she might have her like personal relationships with people, but like when it comes to her, like she's running this like, isn't it like $1 billion company?
Yeah.
She can't have emotions. She
Yeah.
can't give people like special privilege just because she has a relationship with
Yeah.
them. So I really think she has to leave that like personal relationship that she has with everyone at the door, and that can be really lonely probably. Like, 'cause
Totally.
is she married? I know she has a daughter.
Yeah, I don't think she is, but she does have a daughter, maybe from a previous relationship.
I know the daughter's now working at Vogue when she swore she wouldn't work
Nepo
there, which I think
baby.
is so cute. I think it's so cute though, 'cause,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it is cute. Like, I get that because my mom was a teacher and I was like, I would never want to be a teacher. And then nowadays I'm like, I actually really do want to be a teacher. Like, yeah.
me, I feel that so much. My mom's a teacher as well, and
Oh, cute.
she actually teaches at the old high school I used to go to, and she teaches my siblings right now. But you don't understand. I got through high school, and she was teaching elementary when I was in high school.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
then
yeah.
my brother had cancer, so she
Goodness.
she stayed like close with him because she wanted
Yeah.
to be close to him.
Yeah.
So like when he moved to high school, she moved to
did
high
too.
school with
Oh
that.
my God.
So I never got her as a teacher, thank goodness. But
That's
her and
so
my little
funny.
sister, oh, they bicker,
Yeah.
they bicker, and my dad has to play a referee between them. He's like, at school, you're not her mom, you're not her daughter. It's Miss Jones. You know, it's so funny.
That's so funny. I love that. I love that. Okay, let's chat about Jersey Shore. So Jersey Shore, you have no idea how big this.
I just remember Snooki, and they were like in the soundbite, they're like, "Get out, it's Gorilla Central."
Yes. She's like, really? Like, yeah, because she was sleeping at the time, and JWoww like came back to the house to like wake her up to like go out or whatever. So Jersey Shore was pivotal television. So it came out in 2009. So I was in high school, and literally, so everyone like called Thursdays Jersdays. And I'm not joking. Everyone would sit down and watch it. And then I went to university and lived in a dorm. And on every Thursday night, we would go to the lounge, and the lounge would be like 40 or 50 people, every single person from my floor, and we would all watch Jersey Shore. Like, it was a cultural phenomena. Like, it really like reset, I feel like, reality TV. And it was on for 6 seasons, and then MTV rebooted it in 2018. And like their parents now, so it's definitely a different vibe, but like same shenanigans. And this is the big deal, is that Sammi, who was an original cast member for all 6 seasons of the original show, dated Ron, and it was a really toxic relationship. So she hates him now. And he got into some like really bad shit, like drugs, alcohol, and like domestic violence with his baby mama. So he's not on the show anymore. And so Sammi, even though for like 10 years she has sworn that she would never do anything like Jersey Shore ever again, she is back, and I am so excited.
I'm honestly really excited. I might have to go back and binge watch 6 seasons. I remember like everyone having this like dislike for a guy named Ron on Jersey Shore, but I didn't know exactly what happened. And I remember one of like the main things on Jersey Shore that happened that like kind of like woke everyone up, if I'm not mistaken, was like a dude slapped Snooki, wasn't it? Wasn't it a guy who...
Yeah, so this is so wild. So on, I think, the first season, people didn't like Snooki. Like, this was like episode like 2 or 3. People didn't like Snooki at all. She came into the house and was like kind of drama and just like really wasn't clicking with the group, and they went out to a bar, and a random slapped or punched, I can't remember, Snooki. And it's crazy because MTV filmed it and aired it. But nowadays they don't show it. Like they show like a box screen, and then they
Are you serious?
Yeah, they just like write what happened because it was that
It was real.
Yeah, it was that real. It was that intense. And then when that happened, everybody like JWoww and all the guys and stuff like that started attacking this guy, and that's how they became best friends. It was because everyone was like, no, like
you don't hit girls.
Yeah, and was like ascended on
just like,
yeah, like it was like one of those cartoon
Power
brawls.
Rangers unite.
Literally, like it was like, you know those scuffles with the cloud in cartoons?
Yeah.
It was literally that.
Like Tom and Jerry.
Exactly.
Just like multiples. Oh my goodness.
So it was, again, TV that you couldn't make nowadays because it was a real life incident that happened. Like it was just so wild. And so, yeah.
Oh, but I miss how TV was back in like.
Oh, same. With all of my heart.
It was so good. It was so good. It was so good. I remember what really got me into like television and movies. I watched like Kill Bill at age like 8 or 9, and we had the I don't know if it's the director's uncut or something. Uncut, but it was the version where, like, you know how they had to make that scene black and white for it to be put in theaters? Quentin Tarantino did. It was that scene, but it was in color. So it was like, I remember watching it and I was like, this is the best movie ever.
Yeah, you're like, this is fascinating.
I don't think that they could put that on television today.
No.
Like, I don't think they could put like a lot of Quentin Tarantino's, like, I don't think they would be able to show some of it.
Yeah. And just the rawness and real like shit that happened on this show made it just where everyone tuned in, like girls and guys. Like I feel like reality TV is mostly watched by women. But I'm telling you, like, it was equally liked by the guys in my life. And it was just so fascinating. So for her to come back is just, like, absolutely huge because she said so many times, like, I'll never come back. I never want to do this. But most of it, I think, was because of Ronnie being there. Yeah, but since he's gone, she can come back and feel, like, safe and stuff. And then the other thing that I was thinking is, I just don't think the show's also getting the ratings that it used to. So I bet they were like, we'll pay you a lot of money if you make an appearance. And I think that's very enticing.
I think so too, because just like you said, you know how they can't show like Snooki, like a real life something happening. Like they can't show like a real life incident of a girl getting slapped in the face, but like HBO could go like show like the most horrific like birthing scene I've ever seen or like anything like that, and it's completely fine because like it's all like fake. But those real moments, I think like because they can't put those parts in it. And some aspects, they've got to figure out how to take these characters that people loved seeing like act a little wild, you know, and they've got to figure out how to fit them into like the age category that their audience is now because like kind of grown up, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And I'm going to be interested in seeing like if there's any like differences from last season to like this season and how like they kind of change how it plays up. But
like
I've got to watch.
Yeah. I honestly, this is like triggered. Like, I think I want to do a rewatch of the whole series.
Was it Chris on TikTok who did when House of the Dragon was coming out? I remember like, do you know Chris on TikTok? I can't remember his last name.
Is it Chris Olsen?
Yes, Chris Olsen. Do you remember he was like, we should all rewatch Jersey Shore together? And he started like every Sunday, kind of because like House of the Dragon was so big, and I feel like he wasn't really like into that.
Yeah.
He was like, we're all gonna start watching Jersey Shore. He actually like for like the first like 3 episodes like watched it and then had discussions with it like for 3 weeks, and then it kind of fell off. But I'd like to do that. I'd like to like kind of watch them and do like a first take, you know, after all these years.
Yeah. Yeah.
just to get prepared for the newest season.
Honestly, because I haven't even rewatched it ever in my lifetime. So it's like I would be watching stuff that I hadn't seen in 14 years or whatever.
See, and that's like, it's almost like rewatching it, like all new,
Yes,
you know?
yes, yeah, yeah. You forget so much. So I kind of want to do that. But yeah, I'm very, very excited. I'm going to tune in. And I think that's what they wanted. They wanted fans that had fallen off to come back, and like I'm hook, line, and sinker.
I am so excited about that. But I have to ask you one more thing.
Yeah.
When we're talking about Chris Olsen, kind of back to the Kardashians, Anna Wintour says the Kardashians aren't going to the Met, and then a couple of days later, Meghan Trainor's song comes out with Kris Jenner in it. Do you think that's her like working hard, or do you think that's her just like, do you think it's like a coincidence? Because it could be a coincidence.
Well, I think the first thing is like, how did Meghan Trainor, no offense, score Kris Jenner for this music video? Because I just feel like that's such a big get. And it wasn't even just a cameo like the Ariana one, it's the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think she's putting some big money into her like TikTok campaigning, because you remember, like, apparently Chris Olsen's like, apparently he's paid to like, they're friends, but he's paid to like,
yes, like manage
her
her
stuff.
yeah
So I honestly think that they probably got like, he's been trying to get to Harry Styles, right, and get Harry Styles in a video on his TikTok. That's all he's wanted. I think they probably reached out to someone on Ariana's team, like Ariana Grande, and was like, hey, we need Kris Jenner's number to like do this. But
yeah.
I think if you put it in a way to, because everyone loves, people can deny it all they want, but everyone loves being the center of attention. So I think if you spin it enough towards Kris Jenner to make her the center like of attention, she would probably be more inclined to do it.
Absolutely. That's a really good point.
And also I think like she sees how big Chris and Meghan Trainor are on TikTok, and she's trying to use that.
Yes.
But she also is this, like, sometimes I think of Kris Jenner like how she was in her, like, how old is she? I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, I think she's 67 or 68.
She's almost 70. Like, my big mama, my great grandmother's 70. So when I think of like Kris Jenner, or just like the essence of Kris Jenner, I think of her in her 50s, that spice, that like sharp wit that she had, like all of that. We like to say that she's like kind of holding the reins and controlling the Kardashians, but do you remember those, like, I don't know if it was text messages that Kanye West put out or what he put out, but the text messages between him and Kim got put out. And she was like, please stop, my mother can't take this. So I think we might give Kris Jenner a little bit more.
Too much credit.
I don't know who's running the wheels, but I don't think she's like doing all of it anymore, because she's 67. I honestly, my 70-year-old grandmother could not handle the amount of like drama that the Kardashians go through. I know she can't like be the person who deals with all of that head on.
Yeah, I kind of think it's Kim. Like,
I think it's Kim too.
I think it is. And like, your original question was like, do you think it was coincidental? I think it was coincidental, the timing, but I don't think it's coincidental that Meghan Trainor and Chris Olsen are like really big on TikTok, and that the Kardashians, other than I feel like North's account, their content hasn't really done well on TikTok. So I feel like the strategy with that was like, how do we get on this platform? And I think it's teaming up with other creators like Chris Olsen and Meghan Trainor.
I completely and 100% agree. Do you think Gay Man with a Spray Tan is a
paid employee? I didn't, but now I do. I feel like they decided last year that it's really smart to have these quote unquote authentic creators like Amanda Hirsch from Not Skinny But Not Fat, and then Gay Man with a Spray Tan, to create content about them that doesn't seem like it's coming from, you know, TMZ or directly from them or whatever. And so I didn't think he was on the payroll. He used to say, just like Amanda Hirsch would say good and bad things about them, and then there's a point where they stop and they're getting like, Gay Man with a Spray Tan is getting picked up by North, like his sounds, and Amanda had them all as guests on her podcast, and then there's a difference afterwards. And so I think that's what happened.
I think that you're 100% correct that they saw like an opportunity and seized it, because like they wouldn't let North watch Gay Man with a Spray Tan if that he was talking crap about them, or if it wasn't like heavily filtered to meet what they wanted him to say, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
And I think they think we're stupid sometimes, because like he's not getting the numbers he used to. And okay, if I'm gonna be completely honest, like one of the things I kind of hate when like people are very authentic and then they like partner with someone. Like when I was partnered with HBO, I made sure to like ask. I was like, can I still talk about like, controversial topics? Because like I don't know if you watched The Last of Us, but they literally have like this last episode, they had a Christian cannibalistic cult eating people. Like, and I wanted to know if I could talk about that, or if I could even talk about the like Sam Levinson drama.
Yeah.
And they were like, honestly, you can refer to the drama, you can talk about both sides, you just can't take a side. And like, I try not to take a side anyway. Like, I'm never gonna like just take like HBO's side because they like whatever. Like, when we like kind of connected, they were like, we want to just be like, we already like the content you're making. We don't want to change it.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't like do anything that kind of like changed my content, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting. I wonder how much, honestly, I wonder how much that check is to make him change himself. Because it'd take a hell of a big check to make me like,
to all of a
I'm
sudden
not saying
sing the Kardashians phrases.
yeah, I wouldn't say my integrity isn't like foldable by an amount of money, but it would take a large amount.
100%. I'm the same way. Like, let's talk numbers. Like,
let's talk numbers. Like, everything's worth a price. Like, let's discuss. But I think, and one of the like reasons why I think Kim Kardashian started the Ozempic like kind of trend is because of Amanda Hirsch and like that drama. And it just, if you start connecting all of them, it just all leads back to the Kardashians.
It always does. Like, all roads lead back to the Kardashians.
Like, do you remember when she went on that video, like she went on her TV show and she was like, I don't have butt implants, and it was before the time anyone knew about injecting fat into your butt. So she literally she's like, see, I don't have butt implants, and like everyone left her alone for maybe a year, and then people were like, guess what? Influencers was like, guess what? You can inject fat into your butt, and everyone was like, haha, Kim Kardashian, we got you.
Yeah.
That's what you did.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the same thing with this Ozempic. They're never.
Yeah. You're literally so right, because they get the information before us about these types of procedures because the doctors want them to do it. And you're totally right. They knew about Ozempic way faster than the general population.
And I really didn't think about it until I posted that video about her photoshopping her like photos and seeing the real ones from that event, and people were like, dude, she has a really bad Ozempic face. And I went and like searched what Ozempic face was. That? It's like when you lose weight too fast that like your skin's like elasticity, or like something happens with like, I don't know exactly what is it called collagen in your face?
Yeah.
But like basically it like your skin doesn't like snap back as fast because you're losing weight so fast.
Yeah, that makes sense. But it's interesting because you do want skin elasticity and you do want collagen in your face.
And like I think it's because I don't know if it's like, you know how when people have dramatic weight losses, like they'll often have like skin that they have to end up getting like removed or like things like that. Like with tummy tucks and everything, you know, they like tell you like you need to like lose a certain amount of weight so that when they can like cut the skin off. I think it might not be as it's definitely not as drastic as like that, like, but I think the wrinkles we're seeing on her face are from the Ozempic and how fast she lost that weight.
Yeah, I want someone from the medical sphere to comment. So if that's you listening to this, please let us know. But that actually makes so much sense. And that makes sense why she's needed like a lift and stuff like that. Because if she's like losing like skin elasticity, that is so fucking interesting. I feel like this episode is like triggering me to like I want to do a full episode on Jersey Shore and then one on Ozempic.
I can't seem to like really remember, but wasn't there like a rumor that Kim Kardashian had gotten a facelift
Yeah.
because there was a scar right here?
Yeah, she had the like vertical line by her
Mhm.
earlobe, which typically you only get with a facelift.
Have you watched a facelift online?
No.
Like they're actually really cool. I used to watch like surgeries and stuff
Yeah,
because I had a
yeah.
septoplasty because I broke my nose.
Yeah.
So I actually watched like that,
Yeah,
and like they end
yeah.
up pulling your nose up here. So like
I'm so
I
scared of
watched
that.
really I was really scared, and when they took that hammer to that girl's face, I was like, that's gonna be me. Oh my goodness.
Literally, I'm like, it's just so like barbaric. Like, but you're asleep, so you don't know that I'm like scared.
Oh no, I woke up like I had a septoplasty, and I remember the first thing I did was like I hit myself in the nose. So I woke up and literally like my hand went to my nose, and the like nurse grabbed my hand and put it down, and like the next time I woke up there was like blood all over like my hand because like
Because
I
you
like my
yes.
but the facelifts are like so crazy to me. That feels like it would hurt so bad because they're like actually like peeling like at least this much of like your skin off like the bone to like pull it and like stretch it.
But I feel like that's them. Like it's like robotic at this point.
Do you think she had her fat right here taken out?
The buccal fat.
Yes.
I'm not sure. People are saying that because they're saying she dyed her hair blonde and then brown again to cover up the work she's done to her face. I think the one thing that I can tell, like I know, is she got two things. I think she got more lip filler because she's not moving her top lip when she's talking, and apparently that's from a lot of filler. And then the part between your nose and your upper lip,
the little Cupid's bow, she got shortened because apparently as you age, this part of your face elongates. So people associate a long like upper lip with like aging. So if you look at her pictures, there's like tiny incisions marks possibly under her nose, and I think she got this part shortened, which is like fascinating. That's so cool. People kind of didn't believe like my like video of the pictures I found from her friend's Instagram versus the pictures I found of her Instagram because they were like, she looks exactly how she looks filtered on TikTok. And I was like, the blur effect.
Yeah.
I was like, I used the blur effect. I was like, that is the blur effect.
Yeah.
Because they were like, you don't see those wrinkles in her TikToks, and I was like, I promise you, it's the blur effect.
Filters. Well, do you know that bold glamour filter?
Yes.
So I follow a creator. Her name's Charlotte Parler or Parker. I can't remember. I always get it wrong. But she put on the bold glamour filter and then she was going like touching her face. I'm doing this on video, so sorry this is hard for the audio people, but this is all audio only, so they can't see this. But like it's hard to describe, but she's basically touching her face and you can't tell it's a filter because you think that you would have a filter on your face, go to touch your face and it would like glitch, and it straight up doesn't. So it's like we know they're doing all of this on their show, in their videos, everywhere.
Yeah, definitely. And it's kind of crazy to see the slight like retouches Kim will do compared to like the drastic ones that Kylie. Like, have you seen the pictures of her top lip that people are like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. She can't help herself.
Wild.
She cannot help herself.
She really can't.
Yeah. Okay, this episode was so much fun. I feel like we covered like a billion things.
I had so much fun talking to you, honestly.
Oh,
like
God.
This is so much fun. Thank you for making me just feel so like relaxed and calm. I was a little nervous, but you're amazing at this. And like I can't wait to watch your like page grow and like you just become this big podcaster. You're going to be taking on the likes of Alex Cooper soon.
I appreciate that so much. Can you tell the listeners where they can find your account and anything else that you want to plug?
Well, my TikTok account is Thoughts W Gracie. We just kind of go over all things TV, pop culture, and fashion. I give you my honest opinion whether you like it or not. And then I also am like trying to branch branch out on YouTube, so it's the same Thoughts with Gracie. It's all the same videos, but just for people, some people don't use TikTok and they like YouTube shorts like my boyfriend. So if anyone is a YouTube short person instead of a TikTok person, I am trying to meet that audience as
I
well.
love
So
that. Super
me on
smart.
there.
Nice. Thank you again so much for coming on. I had such a good time.
Me too. It was a lot of fun, and I love literally your TikToks. I love, like, by the way, your voice is like one of my favorite things. It's very like
Thank you.
cool and crisp. I love it.
Thank you.
But I enjoyed this so much, and I'm really appreciative for you even having me on and just wanting to sit here and chit chat, and I had a lot of fun.
Thank you. Like I said, I love your TikToks. I think you have a really interesting point of view, and I probably found your account maybe November, maybe October, like this past fall, and I was watching. I was like, I have to invite this girl on the podcast.
Oh, thank you. It made me feel so sweet and warm inside, and I was like, oh my goodness. I don't understand. That's all I've talked about to my boyfriend for the past 2 days. I was like, my podcast. I'm going on a podcast. I'm going on a podcast.
I love that. That's so cute.
I was like so excited.
I'm so happy. And there you have it. Thank you so much for listening. And thank you to Gracie for joining me on today's episode. If you liked what you heard, you can follow along at RTBP Podcast on all socials. And you can leave a 5-star rating and review. This helps the pod find new listeners and climb those Apple Podcast charts. I hope you are all safe and healthy out there. As always, I'm your host, Tori, and I'm ready to be petty. See you soon. Bye.